Welcome to this episode of Small Bike Stuff. We've just finished a long ride, so I'm going to film a few of the bikes, and these videos will be coming out sporadically over the next few weeks. If you're watching this a year after this is posted, then there's probably a whole bunch of videos from this ride online already. Anyway, this is a Honda Grom. It's a MSX 125 and 125 PGM FI. It's fairly stock engine wise, but there has been quite a few changes, so we'll run through them and do our normal showcase. So first things first, let's go down to the engine. So here we have Honda Grom 125. They have no kickstart, but they do have an electric start, and it's a 4-speed manual. This one is the older version without the oil filter on the side here. And yeah, I mean, it's got a couple of things. There's an oil catch can attached to the oil filler over here. And looks like there's just a couple of extra flash parts, like this silver Kitako cover, or Kitako, or whatever you call it, cover on the back side of the Kickstarter. And then on this side here, there's a clear cam cover, which we've just had a massive ride in the rain, so it's a bit condensated at the moment. Manual, 4-speed, 1 down, 3 up, and it's got a couple of, the timing hole cover, inspection cover, has been changed to a red one here, and then you've got like this red cover here on the lead as well, that goes down to the, I think it's the oil tip sensor on the side of the barrel. The shifter is aftermarket, Kangi by the looks, and this foot peg's aftermarket as well. So it's got a few little changes there on the engine, but it's basically a stock 125, and it goes fairly well, but yeah, it's not super fast or anything like that. Alrighty, wheels and tyres. So we've got a Pirelli Diablo Rosso scooter tyre, so it's a 120/70 on the rear. There's also a front brake disc that's been changed over, we'll talk about that in the mods, and then the rear tyre, stock rim as well, but it's a Diablo Rosso, which is a Pirelli tyre, scooter version, 130/70. So there is a bit of a difference between the front and the rear width, which just helps with cornering a little bit. It's nice to have that narrow profile at the front. Wheels and tyres are fairly stock. Controls. Alrighty, controls. There we go. So there's your speedometer. Got your fuel gauge on the side, your rev counter there. Speed. You've got also your trip meter if you hit the select button. Trip A, trip B, and then you've got your total distance on the speedometer there, and a clock there for the time. Controls, we've got our clutch on the left side, brake on the right side, and you've got your kill switch and electric start here. There is no kickstart on these. A temp gauge, which is pretty cool, but not a control. We'll talk about that soon. You've got your high, low, your turn signals, and your horn there as well. So controls are fairly basic. Other than that, you've just got on this side your brake pedal, which is once again fairly stock. And then this one down here, we've got our shifter as well. So the shift is fairly normal as far as its function, but it has been changed up to aftermarket one there, as you can see. So 1 down, 3 up on this bike here. Modifications, well, where do we start? There's a lot. As you can see, this thing here just looks a bit different than a stock Honda Grom. The colour, first of all, so that is a 2K can, so spray can, and it looks pretty good. There's a couple of runs in the paint if you look really, really closely in a couple of places, but it's a really good job. I'm pretty impressed. Modifications, we've got the colour changed timing inspection covers on the side there. We've got a belly pan, which doesn't come stock on these. This thing needs an oil change, but we've been riding out in torrential rain all day, and it's only just stocked, so that is what it is. It hasn't been like that for a long time. Frame sliders on the rear and the front for the axle, so not frame sliders, axle sliders. That's actually a requirement for a lot of kart tracks. If you want to go ride on like a nice asphalt kart track, if you fall off, they don't want you scraping anything. So one of those things. Bar end mirrors, Renthal grips. So, you know, they're nice solid feeling grip. And the bar end mirror, well, you know, it's just a different way to get a rear view of your, it's a different way to get a view behind you. We've got this here, which is our windscreen. This has actually been copied off a official aftermarket part, but this has been homemade and then coated with a kind of a wrap here on the front that makes it look carbon fiber, so that's pretty cool. If we turn this on and then get our turn signals, you can see you've got aftermarket carbon style, we'll say, turn signals. Pipe, we've got an Akrapovic, possibly a copy, genuine, I'm not sure, but this is an Akrapovic pipe on here. It does sound pretty good. It's not super tinny, you know, it's got to get a little bit of a deep sound, and it does sound the part. Disc, front disc is aftermarket, has been changed from stock, but the rear disc is stock, so a few changes there. Got a tail tidy here, so usually they have a big tail that comes all the way down here. This thing has been changed a little bit with a LED stoplight, and then you've got the same turn signals as the front, and then there's a number plate illumination light here, which is a legal thing we do need in New Zealand. And the shock, I'm honestly not sure if that is genuine or aftermarket. If anyone knows, please tell me. It'll be interesting to know, but it does have some adjustable preload there at the bottom, so you can kind of adjust the tension and make it a little bit stiffer if you did want to. But apart from that, what else have we got? Temperature gauge, if we turn the key on. There we go, 48.8 degrees. So that's going straight down to the engine, so you can read the temp while you're riding. If that dramatically increased while you're riding, then, well, you'd know there's something wrong, so it is pretty cool. I can get the temp gauge on my Honda Wave only from an app, so that's a more rudimentary, normal, or smarter way, I guess, is the best way to do it, not necessarily normal. But yeah, this thing here is pretty good looking, and it's got that kind of low, long stance without being dramatically modified to a point where it's actually not nice to ride. This thing here has been out and going wide open throttle, you know, doing full speed runs, and it's done it pretty bloody well. So, you know, the modifications haven't impeded its performance in any way, shape or form. All right, so we'll just do a quick start up so you can hear it. We'll just put this down here. Quick one there for you today. This guy's got to head off. He's got a long way to travel back to his hometown, home city. So I just thought I'd quickly film it before he loads it up and disappears. But yeah, a nice little Honda Grom, earlier edition. Not the first edition, as it's got this twin LED headlight that came on the second edition Grom. SF, I think is what they call these ones. I'm not 100% sure. There's a whole bunch of Grom diehards out there that'll know exactly what this is. So anything you want to add, let me know. I just thought I would make a quick video to showcase what this Honda Grom looks like here in New Zealand. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.